This episode of Capes and Lunatics is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. Get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
Recording has started.
Hello, dear listeners. Welcome once again to Super Connectivity, the home of knowledge and false information that you can use in your daily life. I'm your host, Charlie, the Professor Esser, and the man ready to pounce with his encyclopedic knowledge of who wrote what and what was happening when. It is this man,
Mr. By the Numbers, Phil Perich.
Hello, Mr. By the Numbers, Phil Perich. Welcome to the show once again. Phil, fill me in. I apparently am wrong on many things.
Well, I mean, you couldn't remember the issue numbers. If you listened to Capes and Lunatics earlier in the week or a couple minutes ago if you're on YouTube, Charlie was talking about the Peter David Incredible Hulk run, and he thought that it was Peter David who wrote the issues where the Banner and Hulk were separated. Not so. Peter David he did a fill-in issue for Incredible Hulk 328 after Banner and Hulk had already been remerged and the Gray Hulk was already around. But his first official issue as writer was Incredible Hulk 331.
And Philip, what the issue I was specifically talking about, who wrote that issue? Oh, you don't have that information?
Wait, who wrote what issue?
The issue where Banner is pulling himself out of the Hulk as they're trying to remerge him. The issue in which Rick Jones gets covered in the merging slime. Who wrote that issue?
Let me look that up because that is.
Do you remember that? Okay, so maybe I'm not wrong. Maybe that was the issue that you're talking about there. And while Philip's looking it up, let's talk about other things. Can't have you doing research in the middle of the show, Philip. You should have had who the writers were for all these episodes. If you're going to call me out,
you just wanted the Peter David issues. Al Milgrom.
Al Milgrom. Well, there you go. Another great Hulk writer.
Oh, yeah, because that was issue 324, right?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, it is. But no, it looks like he wrote and penciled that issue.
Wow. Well, it was a great issue.
So
a big shout out to Al Milgrom. You are one of the great Hulk writers out there, and apparently great Hulk pencilers as well. Because that was body horror that I liked. You know why? You know why I felt that was good body horror?
Why?
Because it wasn't body horror based on overuse. See, to me, body horror.
Like Immortal Hulk's been doing a little too much lately?
Well, that's the thing. It's like for example, when you look at this issue of Immortal Hulk and freaking Abomination has a hand for a face.
Yeah.
It just makes him look like Zoidberg, first off. So it's like, what about Zoidberg Abomination? It's not scary and it doesn't make sense. Why do you have a hand for a face, especially if you're eating people?
I mean, I guess it's them. It's saying, were they just basically like throwing Abomination in a vat and like just letting it regrow? So it was like, oh, we have no control over how it forms. We'll just, let it regrow on its own and point it at Banner. Yeah.
Yeah, that is not a good idea.
I know.
Let's always go back to living weapons aren't a good idea. Okay. Let's have non-living weapons that we get to point.
Especially when you're mixing two people like Emil Blonsky and Rick Jones.
Oh, and who knows? Maybe they had Kid Abomination in there too. Whatever happened to that guy from Superior Iron Man run?
Was it? I forget. He showed up somewhere. Where did he show up? Was he on?
He was in the Monsters run.
I thought he was on something.
Yeah. It was like the Monster Squad. The Howling Commandos. That's what it was called. Mm-hmm. Howling Commandos with Dum Dum Dugan.
Yeah.
Had Kid Abomination in that, which was good, but still, it's like I don't know. Sometimes with Marvel, sometimes it's like they're evil, shadowy government conspiracies don't think things through.
I know.
It's like real shadowy government conspiracies should think things through. You know,
Although my favorite.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say my favorite line though from Immortal Hulk this week was, when Abomination starts attacking, that lady working at the hotel runs out. She's like, starts praying, "Our Father who art in heaven," and Hulk's like, "I'm glad one of our fathers is up there."
Yeah. Well, Hulk, he is a blasphemer. But if you go around thinking you're the strongest one you are and building freaking gamma bombs, you obviously don't believe in a higher authority to judge you.
It's just, his father's in hell.
Well, yeah, not for nothing. That's got to be a big feeder into freaking Banner's thought process.
Mm-hmm.
That since all of this stuff went down, he found out, oh, there's a guy named Mephisto who actually squishes your soul for all eternity because the soul is a real concept. And everything I based my life on is kind of a lie. And my sociopathology really is not profitable anymore. If anything else, what we can definitely say about the Hulk is that he's a person who has been a sociopath his entire life, who suddenly found out that, oh my gosh, religion is real. Even if any specific religion isn't correct, it's all real. And there's this entire other universe of existence that I did not know existed.
Yeah,
and for what it's worth, the fact that the Hulk can see beyond the panel, can see mystical beings, kind of says that you bet wrong, Mr. Banner.
Yeah, but I mean, is he really that worried? Because he's, again, the title of the book, Immortal Hulk, every time he dies, he comes back.
Yeah, for now.
We see future versions where he becomes the Maestro, and he's like, what, decades old, hundreds of years old. I mean,
yeah. Which is not immortal, Philip.
No,
there was a recent. I was listening to a recent NPR report about the Anthropocene, and about how humans have been around for 100,000 years, and we're about to go extinct. Yada yada. And how many millions of years dinosaurs had. Now, granted, you can't compare humans to dinosaurs because humans are a single aspect of simian, whereas dinosaurs are an entire group. And you have to maybe you can compare how long did Tyrannosaurus Rex live versus how long did humans live.
Plus, I didn't see no dinosaurs driving around big SUVs and contributing to global warming.
Well, they didn't have oil then.
Oh, true.
If they had oil, then maybe they would have. They're like, yeah, thanks, Skippy, man.
But I'm just saying,
the Velociraptors cruising downtown.
They weren't contributing to global warming, but I don't know. Those dinosaur farts had to have been wicked.
Well, yeah. Well, actually, at that point, what they were doing is they were trying to take out the oxygen from the atmosphere. They had too much dang oxygen.
Yeah.
The only way to deal with the oxygen was to tie it into carbon, and then make it into bodily structures.
Mm.
And then you had to have that beat down, turned into oil, and then we burn it now. So it's a circle. It's the carbon cycle, It's like the water cycle, but it takes billions of years.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, but yeah. Where were we?
Well, we were talking about the Hulk.
Yeah, I know we were talking about the Hulk, but what so I'm not a fan of the current use of body horror in the Hulk. Mm-hmm. Multiple heads, I think, is what really bugs me. Especially with Rick Jones. Because Rick Jones's statement was at the time, I'm not that complex a guy.
Yeah.
So I'm A-bomb because I'm not that complex a guy.
Yeah, but again,
there isn't six other persons inside of me.
I mean, it's not multiple personalities. They literally mix Rick Jones in with another person.
Well, yeah, theoretically, except someone's body had to be done. There's a brain there and there's a soul there.
Yeah, but
I'm going to say that Emil Blonsky's hand is what's doing it. But then that again, so unless you're going to have a big split between the two at the end, and you're going to have Emil Blonsky back as Abomination, and Rick Jones is just, hey, I'm Rick Jones. Anyone got some nigga bands?
Well, that's why I thought that maybe the hand was in front of the mouth there, is because I don't know if I thought maybe they melted them down and basically just poured them all both in the one vat.
Or maybe that's Emil trying to reach out.
Oh.
Maybe that's Emil maybe Emil wants to be free of Rick Jones as much as Rick wants to be free of Emil.
Don't bite the hand that feeds you.
You should bite the hand that feeds you in that situation.
Yes, true.
Anyway, no, but I mean, body horror aside, and they are definitely loving the body horror right now. I'm working hard to pronounce those R's. That's a little apple juice in. I like what they're doing with it. I definitely, I don't know. I guess I wish Banner could be a little more self-aware. But for a guy that's not trying to talk to Doc Samson right now, it's kind of obvious that he's not self-aware and has no interest in being self-aware, because you can't help the person who doesn't want to be helped.
Well, I know you're thinking Banner's more in control, but is it possible the Devil Hulk or somebody else is like kind of like
there's not other Hulks, Philip. This is the thing.
Other personalities, Charlie Esser.
Okay, you know what, Philip? The Banner has other personalities the way that you think I have other personalities. Where because I grew a mustache, or I shaved my head, or I grew my hair out and I shaved my face. Because I'm putting on a different face for the world. You think that's a different person.
All right.
It's not.
I think you're quibbling.
And the reality is,
you're quibbling.
As much as Banner wants it to be someone else, it's not.
You're quibbling over my words. Okay, he has a mental illness, and part of that is whether he's using that.
Yeah, he has dissociative identity disorder.
Yeah.
He is too communicative with his other identities to have them be real other identities. But what he actually has, is a narcissistic personality disorder. That in which he says, "Oh, it wasn't me who did that. It was Joe.
Yeah,
Joe did that, not me." Even though him and Joe are the same person. But when he does something he doesn't like, when something needs to be done that he doesn't want to do, he says, "Call me Joe, and I'll do it." And that's his whole shtick. It's the same guy doing the same thing, not a dissociative identity, always a narcissist trying to justify his actions.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think Peter David went into that in his run. You know, even the Grey Hulk even called Bruce out on it. And he's like, you're ashamed of me. I'm the parts of yourself you're ashamed of.
Yeah, and not for nothing, Peter David showed the Grey Hulk was there when Bruce Banner sexually assaults that girl in college.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we remember when he doesn't rape her, but he does sexually assault her.
He tried.
He freaking grabbed her and says, "Kiss me, dang it. I'm Joe and I'm sexy." It's like, no, Joe. Consent is sexy, not you.
Oh.
Yeah, no, me too. Me too, Hulk.
Look at Banner's role model. His father literally killed his mother in front of him too.
Yeah, that was an accidental killing, just like he accidentally killed his dad.
Yeah.
Not for nothing, he can't be blaming his dad for all of his stuff.
Well, it was an accidental killing where his father killed his mother, but it was like in a fit of rage, though, too.
Well, it was an abusive relationship, yes. Yeah. He was raised in an abusive household, yes. But at the same time, the abuse doesn't cause dissociative identity disorder. The trauma that Bruce Banner suffered is not the trauma that would cause dissociative identity disorder.
Mm-hmm.
The trauma that Bruce Banner suffered caused him to be kind of upset about the world and mad about his weaknesses. And certainly that comes out when he tries to show his strength by building big bombs to destroy everyone, and fools make them all pay. Basically, the Hulk is green and purple because the Hulk is a villain and uses secondary colors, and he will make you all pay. You fools for not believing him. That is the story of the Incredible Hulk. He's Dr. Doom without the pathos.
He should have been drawn by Steve Ditko in his first couple appearances. Steve Ditko loved those green villains: Green Goblin, Scorpion, Vulture.
Well, there,
that Sandman had a green shirt. Ditko loved it.
of course, because he was a villain. Because it's secondary colors. Secondary colors are villains.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the only exception is Hawkeye and a few others, because purple is right on the line. Purple is anti-hero. You can be an anti-hero if you're purple. That's why Paladin wears purple. Because he'll work for whoever pays for him. Taskmaster similarly, although Taskmaster also wears orange, because he doesn't wear secondary colors except for the orange. He's blue and orange, but the orange says I'm actually mostly evil, but I've got white and blue here too. You know, if you pay enough, I'll be a good guy. Sure, why not?
No,
because he started as Shield, and Shield is an offshoot of Hydra. And, you know,
yeah,
we all know the story at this point.
Yes.
It all goes back to the LMDs, back in Nick Fury vs. Shield, the best graphic novel series. Man, that was when you could get a series. It was hardbound like a graphic novel and had lots of butts in it. It was really good.
Whoa.
Did you ever read the Nick Fury vs. Shield series?
No, I do remember seeing the ad in a bunch of the comics, but yeah, I never read it.
It's good. You should pick it up. It's great because they actually draw Nick Fury as like different people. So they have Nick Fury as our man Flint. They have Nick Fury as what's his name, Dean Martin. They have like a couple different Nick Fury drawings, different ways to interpret Nick Fury over the years. So it's great on the cover. So it's like a different Nick Fury on the cover each time, but it's always a great Nick Fury throughout it, and you get some great Nick Fury in that. That is like, if you're a Nick Fury fan, if you haven't read Nick Fury vs. Shield, I don't know how you call yourself a Nick Fury fan. It's one of the best comic series ever. Anyway, moving right along.
Let's talk more comics. Daredevil number 6.
Daredevil number 6. So they did not prove my theory, but they didn't disprove my theory either.
I think he was addicted. I don't think. Yeah, like I said, I don't think it was the nuke drugs. Just because I'm.
Here's what I'm going to say, Phil. Do you really think? Do you really think the artist changed the pills 3 times by accident?
Like I said, I think he was addicted to a bunch of different medication. You know, they were showing the problems getting. If it was the nuke stuff, do you think he would have shaken it as easily as he did?
Well, he hadn't gotten to the red yet.
True.
So here's my big prediction. I realized recently why I glommed onto this theory, because I realized I had actually fan written a Batman story that had a similar premise. Actually, where I had Batman get crippled before Bane actually did it. This is all in my head, so no one stole nothing. But
well, they kind of did a story like that in Legends of the Dark Knight back in the day before Bane showed up. It was like a story set in Batman's first year. He got addicted to Venom, and he basically locked himself in the Batcave for 30 days and detoxed.
Yeah. Well, my theory was actually that Robin gets injected with something that drives him slowly mad, kind of pumps him up, and basically Venom. Back before I knew what that was. Yes. It might have even been before Venom, quite frankly. It's like, wouldn't it be cool if? Because basically, I was thinking about the Rhodey story, and when someone takes over for the guy, and then he becomes too violent, and then the hero has to come up and help his friend back from it. You know, basically, I was copying from someone else when I copied my story for Batman. But anyway, long story short, at the moment, first off, he still doesn't seem well.
No, I mean, he's even given up practicing law. He's a parole
officer now, which is fine, and it's honestly a great use of his powers.
Yeah.
And was like, "Oh, you were mayor once, weren't you?" It's like, well, honestly, which is just honestly the whole fluctuation of Matt. And here's the thing. Here's what I'm gonna say. They made a big point about this woman not being attracted to Matt.
Yeah. Well, she was married too.
I think. Okay.
Yeah, because I think she said something about a husband.
She mentioned her. Yeah, she even mentioned her husband. So she arguably isn't a lesbian. I just think he was kind of looking way less attractive than he thinks he looks in that scene. So again, I get the feeling there's a quality to this story. that is being hidden from us. So we're seeing that conversation from Matt's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And I get the feeling that what we're seeing is Matt in his idealized view. It's like, oh, this lady's not attracted to me. Meanwhile, I think we're going to get in a later issue a replay of that scene where Matt's unshaven, which he is here. And because when you first see him walk out of this thing and he's got his like cane and he's walking, honestly, he looks really freaking drunk.
And
he looks like a hobo in a suit. He looks like a 1930s hobo walking down the street when you first see him walk out of the scene.
He's unshaven and his hair's a mess. Yeah.
And I think he's walking. Hey, I need a book. This book, it's like, oh well, I don't have any that old. It's like, oh, it's for my friend, and he really wants it. And he says, I'm lying. It's for myself. I just like to collect old papers.
I mean, I know over the years they've played Matt Murdock as a ladies' man, and I'm sure that I bet you they probably won't do this. But what if he's replacing one addiction with another? He was addicted to the pills. What if he's like a sex addict? Because why?
Here's what I tell you, Philip.
I mean, they're not in court. He's not trying to win a case. Why does this woman have to be attracted to him? All he's doing is going in there to buy a book.
Well, exactly. This is the thing. They're laying the groundwork that this woman isn't attracted to him. It's in his craw. Meanwhile, this other lady's going to put on a Daredevil suit, beat up these guys, and they're going to do the Ms. Marvel story they had where Ms. Marvel was missing and all the other friends put on the Ms. Marvel suits to try and be Ms. Marvel so that no one thought she was missing. And so you're going to get a bunch of these people putting on the Daredevil suit, much in the same way when Cap stopped and Roscoe put on the Captain America suit.
Yeah.
And then dies. But I think the twist in this is going to be that Matt is going slowly mad because of the drugs he's taking. And you're going to see him take that red pill. You're going to see him put it back on the red suit to fight this person who's damaging his legacy. And why won't that girl go out with him? Who she said she was married.
Well, I mean, there was a story in the 90s where someone started showing up in the yellow Daredevil costume, and he's like, "Who is this?" And it ended up it was him. He didn't even realize he was going out.
Because the man took a lot of hits to the head, not for nothing.
Well, I was thinking about this a couple weeks ago. I mean, think about this. It's like he took how much toxic waste or radioactivity from that accident that blinded him, and all it affected was his senses. Really?
Yeah, well, maybe he's a little off kilter.
I mean, basically,
and not for nothing,
it affected all his senses. Most of them focused in his head, and you're telling me it didn't. The only effect it had on his brain was just to his senses.
Yeah, I mean, and for what it's worth, when he's talking about how all these other things in the room are bothering him, but this woman's sense cutting through it all.
Yeah,
it's like he's clearly romanticizing this moment with this woman, which is a common sexual predators kind of view of it.
Well, I know even after Karen Page died, like Black Widow even told him, she goes, "You need to re-examine, your relationship with all things female." Because
of course, because
you act stupid around women all the time.
Yes, well, Black Widow would know.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
She gets it a lot.
Well, they dated back. They were together for a little bit. So.
Yeah, I know. I remember those issues. I know. Well, no, but the fact of the matter, not for nothing, Black Widow existed in a time where, first off, she started as a honeypot back in the 60s.
She was the Russian.
And, so she's used to this. It's like, dude, look, if someone wasn't trying to get compromise on you, I just want you to know you're really awkward about it.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, look, I'm cool with it because, dude, I do this like 6 days a week. So I can work through it and I can actually see what's good in you. Just so you know, everybody else thinks you're a real lecher. I think that's what he's showing here. And what we're seeing is this is my point, is I think, and I wouldn't be surprised if we don't go back and look at all of these sex scenes that we've had with Matt the last couple issues, and then see them from another perspective. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to say, you know what, Matt Murdock isn't the best guy.
Yeah.
Because he is full of his own, I never make mistakes, and like I said, I do think he killed this guy. I do think we're going to see those red pills before the end of the series. In fact, I think when he puts the suit on, it's going to be the red pill,
Yeah.
and it's going to be about him being beat up by some. Because I think Luke Cage is going to come in and just start crack his jaw.
Oh.
Just say, "Stop, Daredevil. Okay, you're cute, but you're not Iron Fist." Let's be clear here. He's not Iron Fist. He's not Luke Cage. He ain't Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
His great knowledge of things only goes so far compared to people who could really cause him trouble. One of the things I really liked in this was the Wesley and Kingpin dynamic.
Oh yeah, Kingpin's good.
Not for nothing, just because this reminds me of like the first time I ever saw Kingpin, which was in a book I got it. I don't even remember the book, but I got it in a from the library, and I picked up this old comic book. So they had a whole second of comic books in the library, and that was dreamy. And I picked up a random comic book with the Kingpin, and it's like him throwing these kung fu guys around, because it hit him and they couldn't hurt him, and he was tossing them around. Just reminded me of that scene. Except this guy, it's like these convicts, and then when Wesley stops him,
yeah,
for the very legitimate reason of like we're supposed to return them alive, just remember, sir. And then Kingpin saying, if you had done this before, I would have killed him, and that would have killed you.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Kingpin knows why he stopped him, because he knows he has to do this, because he knows, much like Lex Luthor and being president, is like, this is way more stress than it's worth. If only Donald Trump had read these books and understood, oh my gosh, you're going to look into everything now? This isn't worth the book deal. I don't care how big the book deal is. I had books selling before this,
Oh,
yeah, it's like, he would have said, it's not worth the trouble. Anyway, but
do you want to move on to another book? I know what was it, your pick of the week? Thor 13.
Well, my pick of the week was Stranger Things, but my Marvel pick of the week was Thor. That was amazing. In one issue, they do an entire Loki heel turn. And they do it based on just basic Joseph Campbell heroic myth storyline, which is that the cruel or the hired gun kind of character, the Han Solo character, basically says, look, I may be a jerk, but I'm not a melon farming jerk.
Yeah.
Where he basically comes and says, you know what? I'm not going to do this. I'm the worst guy in all of Asgard, and you're bugging me. And I'm going to let these kids go. And then the kids are like, hail Cole, because you guys are jerks, but you're melon farming jerks. Cole was just a jerk, and as Dark Elves, we can get behind a jerk. So
yeah, we got those really old flashbacks to like Odin's childhood with Cole.
Oh yeah, but I love in that the Loki Thor dynamic.
Yes,
and just the idea of that in that dynamic, Loki, who is the older sibling, I believe, but also that he's also physically stronger. I don't believe so. I believe Loki is older. Because Loki is the child of Freya and
he's not Odin's actual blood.
Child. I believe when he adopted, because Thor is the child of Gaia and Odin, and I think Freya. My honest opinion is that Odin had his thing with Gaia after Freya had her thing with Laufey.
Maybe, yeah.
And not for nothing, I believe it was consensual.
Yeah.
Yeah, Laufey Daffy. Not quite the same concept, but to me, I believe it was consensual. I mean, I think it was, people in war and it's different for gods and yada, yada, yada. But I actually believe that when Laufey came, she was like, you know what? Budget. Yeah. Let's see what you got.
Unless that's a big reveal we're going to get at the end of War of the Realms.
Well, if they ever actually steal one of my theories, I will be so honored. Um, no, there are no. I promise you right now, Marvel, there will be no lawsuit. If you take this, I'm gonna say we just came up with it at the same time. Great minds think alike. But they have been leading up to it, and everything that because I think every other writer who looks at every way that they've written this, like it really seems like that's her son,
Yeah.
And he is smaller than all the other Frost Giants. And Freya was captured by Laufey, and they were together. And now the real question is was it consensual? Was it not?
Yeah, exactly.
I think it was consensual, just because I don't think Laufey could take Freya. I think that she is as much a BA that if you tried to, that would be the last time you ever did anything.
But would that but would it explain some of it? Like, maybe maybe there's a little resentment on everyone's part toward Loki because he was a product of rape, perhaps.
Well, except Freya doesn't seem to have that resentment.
No. But maybe like on Odin's part, maybe, or.
Well, except it doesn't matter if it's because of rape or because it's. In fact, I think you get more resentment because it's the product of something that wasn't rape.
Yeah.
I think the fact that Odin is like, man.
Yeah.
Odin got cuckolded.
Yeah.
And he's. To me, it's like Odin is raising the kid, but every time he's doing it, he's wearing the horns of the cuckold. And have you looked at, to quote Cole, have you looked at his headdress? It's like, it's all there, man. It's all there. But in this case, we get this, but like I said, it goes to very basic Joseph Campbellian hero's journey kind of storytelling.
Yes.
Where it really is about the guy who is really the worst of the worst, but finding someone who is even worse than him. When you think about, there's a great film called Battle Beyond the Stars, where, and I forget the actor's name, but it's not John Voight. I don't think it's John Voight. Might have been John Voight. But he was the guy in the last season of the A-Team who's the CAA guy.
Oh, is that is it Robert Vaughn?
Robert Vaughn, that's who it was. Robert Vaughn. And he's like the universe's greatest assassin. He's got like billions of dollars, but he can't spend it anywhere. Because he's stuck on this last planet where he's killed everyone else on the planet. Because he's just that good. But it's like it's an empty life for him, and they offer him this opportunity to come fight for them. And they say, we can't offer you money, but we can offer you a safe place and a warm meal. Says, you know what? That is actually the most valuable thing to me right now. Because, sure, I can kill all these people for you. But I want a full meal. I want a meal and a place to stay where I'm not constantly hunted, where I know I'm safe. And that's what they offer him. And then he dies in the battle. So it's sad, but it's a very touching scene. Spoilers. They bury him with a full meal.
So you think is this going to be the redemption of Cole, but he's going to die?
Well, this was the redemption of Cole. He's dead now.
Yeah. Well,
he ain't coming back from it.
Well, again,
not for a while.
It's different with gods, Charlie Esser. I believe someone told.
I know it's different for gods. He'll come back eventually. All the freaking Greek gods are coming back. But sometimes they give it an issue or two. It's like Ares. Ares came back, but it took a couple issues.
Yeah.
As a notable fact, he wasn't one of the Olympians who got killed when freaking whatever her name was, when killed all the gods. Or Snickers, as Tristan says. He wasn't with them, so he doesn't get the blue, veiny, I am the cosmic Olympian. Look, he's like, I'm just an Olympian dude. I got another series to be in, guys. I can't be in this one, so you do you, Zeus. I got someone else to kill.
Nice. But do you want to talk Cloak and Dagger season finale?
Oh, that was good. I like how it ends. I wonder if they've defeated Despair. And they don't really call out Despair as being Despair, but man, they got really close.
Yeah.
And it strikes me that, what's his name? Andre, his last name it's like a Dasan name,
Yeah, it was really close to despair. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's Andre Desperino,
It was something like
and
that. That's why I was
I
like,
love him playing the trumpet as a little, that's his foci for his power. That was cool. Yeah, honestly, do everything in it. It's a really good episode.
mhm.
I love how when we started, they're facing their demons, and then Cloak and they were like, why don't we just switch demons?
Yeah.
But then, and then Despair's like, you can't do that. That's not the rules. And it's like, heck with the rules.
Yeah, but it's like,
And they keep
no one can defeat your demons but you. I think that was the point.
Well, but more to it, you can't defeat your demons without the help of your friends.
True. And without
That throughout it all, because they switched demons, because they gave each other the help and the friendship and the camaraderie, that's how they beat their demons.
Yeah. But,
so even though, yes, certainly you can only defeat your demons yourself. It's reminding yourself that, what, Tyrone has my back and Tandy has my back.
yes.
That's what gets you to defeat your demons. And then they're on the bus and they're ready to go to the big city to meet Luke Cage next season. It's coming, man.
I mean,
I don't know what Marvel is doing in the MCU.
Yeah.
But it's important to remember everything that's happening right now is between the snap and the 5 years later. So they're going and they're going to face the people who they're going to face. And they're going to see what they're going to see. And for what it's worth, next season, they can all talk about the snap.
Oh, yeah.
So when Cloak and Dagger comes back, they can say, yeah, the snap happened, I still say we're going to get mentioned the snap before the end of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
But they're going to do a time jump then. Well, no, they don't. But yeah.
No, they don't, because they already did they did a 1 year time jump.
Yeah.
And not for nothing, it's entirely possible for the majority of humanity. Not everyone is in. Not for nothing, there were 5 people in Cap's group.
Yeah.
So as far as people not dealing with the snap, I think the vast majority of people actually kind of moved on.
Yeah.
It's like a horrific, great tragedy, but at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, it's like, a lot of people died. And a lot of people died the day before, too.
But again, it's like no one on their team disappeared. I mean, I guess it's possible, but just...
Well, exactly. It's a random coin flip.
Yeah.
It's not hard to get 10 heads in a row.
Yeah.
And not for nothing, if Thanos didn't see them as a threat, then they were probably put in the general pool.
Well, yeah, I didn't think he put that much. I thought it was just a random.
Well, here's the thing. Clearly, as we say, the stones are helping.
Yeah.
They're like a genie. And when you say bring everybody back from where they were, you're not putting the pilot of that plane 3,000 feet in the air. You go, what? Where'd the plane go?
Mm-hmm.
We're all following me and the passengers. This doesn't make any sense. That would be stupid. And that's not what happened.
Yeah.
So logically, the stone said, okay, we know what you mean. Unlike most genies that take your words, the stone say, I get what you want to have happen. We'll make that happen. As an example, Gamora didn't snap with the rest of Thanos' army. Because remember, Gamora was part of Thanos' army.
Yeah.
Gamora wasn't on anyone's side at that point, and Tony Stark certainly didn't know that. So when Tony Stark does his snap to get rid of Thanos' army, which, as people have pointed out, may not have gotten rid of Thanos' army, simply reduced them to atoms to be recreated later.
Oh, yeah.
The same way that the stones were reduced to atoms to be recreated later, and everyone else was reduced to atoms to be recreated later. It said, okay, you don't mean Gamora. She's important to the story. We'll let her go on.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Now, interestingly enough, we have in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. this week the revelation that we are chasing extra-dimensional vampire creatures.
Birds.
Well, the birds that are coming into existence every time there are these reality warps.
Yeah.
So it does raise an interesting question as to what these creatures are doing. Interesting enough, quartz crystals, piezoelectric gems are central to what the agents are doing. Ley lines are essential. I mean, it all seems like this was written by someone who's been to a pagan spirit gathering at some point in their life. But it is interesting how it's playing out. I don't want to get too much into it because me and Miles are going to talk about it on Sunday.
Yeah.
But definitely there is more to what's going on with Sarge than we think, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I mean, a big bad guy, but as far as what he's fighting, we don't know yet.
I just wonder,
especially if it turns out that him going to other worlds is what's bringing them to these other worlds.
And I mean, there's a lot of dimension hopping, and whether for some reason could Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. kind of been like, have they diverged from that main universe, the Avengers?
Well, I think one thing we can say is that there are now multiple universes in the Marvel cinematic. Here's the thing. Unlike what DC is saying, well, we don't have to connect. What Marvel's saying, no, we were connected, but now these are offshoots that we're following.
Yes.
Which means that anyone from an offshoot universe can come into the regular universe and not have it be bound to their universe because this is just that version in this universe.
Yeah.
So Luke Cage exists in the 5 years later universe of Avengers and Far From Home.
Yes.
So does Phil Coulson and Linda May and Fitz and Simmons, etc. But in their own universes, there is a story we're following.
Yeah.
Now, because we got dimension happening here, we may find ourselves all back in the same dimension by the end of the season.
Yeah.
That's where it gets interesting. It's like, well, we were in another dimension, now we're in this dimension, now we're back to 616.
Yeah.
Which is an entire possibility. It's not, well, now we're back to 616. Because every universe thinks they're in 616 until they're not in 616 anymore.
Yeah.
And then suddenly someone says, actually, you're not 616 anymore. About the time that Elektra killed Daredevil, that was when you stopped being 616.
Okay.
Because that's what causes it.
Yeah.
Anyway. What else we got, Phil? Anything else you want to talk about? I got to talk about one thing.
What?
WandaVision.
Okay.
WandaVision is being said to take place in the 50s. Have you heard this? This is the rumor that WandaVision, the new Disney Plus series that they're shooting with what's her name and the other guy as Wanda and the Vision, is taking place in the 50s.
So is this an alternate universe or
I
travel involved?
I think this is Wanda making her own universe.
Oh.
I think this is Wanda filled with her grief. Because we saw how mad I think she could have killed Thanos quickly, but like Thor, she wanted to torture him.
Yeah.
She didn't go for the head. Because when he's calling down that fire, it's like, why is he calling down fire? Because he's being picked up by this idea? It's like, no, because she's in his head going, here is every horrifying thought you ever had coming at you 1,000,000 times 1,000,000. This is the greatest pain you could ever suffer. And he's like, just call down fire. Just put her own troops in. I don't care. Just end this. Because it was so much.
Yeah.
She was so much more powerful than Thanos. And we see that with Ms. Marvel. That the people that are empowered by these gems kind of make essentially Thanos look like a piker. Because Thanos, he wants to use that power. He wants to use those Infinity Stones, but it's like you don't give him all the power of the Infinity Stones. He's like, nope. And we actually see that when he fights Ms. Marvel. He has to take the Power Stone out. Say, Power Stone, give me power. It's just so he could beat up Ms. Marvel. And it's like, yeah, that's how weak you really are, Thanos. You are a weak man. But I think what we're going to see is I think we're going to get this idea of Wanda creating alternate universes for herself. I think after Far From Home, where we get this idea of alternate universes, again, we don't know if Beck is from an alternate universe or he's just parlaying off of it, because not for nothing, we already know there are alternate universes from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
So Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has established this idea of alternate universes. There's all these other things. And Beck, being the super genius he is, says, you know what? I'm going to parlay on this. And we already see that through Deke in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., that S.H.I.E.L.D. tech is going out there. Not only S.H.I.E.L.D. tech, but future tech is going out there just because, hey, I know how to make a sandwich in my universe, so here's how you make a fancy sandwich.
Yeah.
That's a callback. But to Hitchhiker's Guide. But you know, in this structure, you can have this. This is why I say I think that there's more communication than people think. And I think what we see in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is informing what we're going to be seeing going forward, which is why I think Kang is coming. You know, because not for nothing, Cap screwing up the timeline is just Kang saying, you know what, stop it. Especially if we get to this idea that there really are paradoxes if you're in the future. That if you're in the future, when the timeline gets changed, things actually do affect you.
Oh, yeah, maybe Kang's the only one aware the time keeps changing. Yeah.
Yeah, well, because that's the idea. Like, if you go back to the past, you're okay. So Deke was okay because he was in the past when the future ended.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you were in that future, maybe people start disappearing.
Oh, yeah.
And for what it's worth, I loved the fact that in Cloak and Dagger, just to bring it back to that people started disappearing around town.
Yes.
And it's just like, was it because of the snap or was it because of Cloak and Dagger? And not for nothing, it's one of these things like when people start disappearing, it's like, wait, what? Oh, it's just like what happened last week? Are they going to be back by the end of the episode? I don't know. Fun times in the Marvel Universe. I cannot wait. But I think that WandaVision, maybe tying into the What If series, is going to be dealing with that alternate reality and Wanda's ability to create realities to her whims. That's my big prediction. Watch for it tonight or to next week or whenever Disney Plus
whenever
that comes out, and then we stop watching everything else except for Disney products. Because it is a small world, after all, and they own all of it. Tell anything else to talk about this week?
No. We've kissed Disney's butt now. No, I think we're good.
Buy us, Disney. We're happy whores.
That's
we're your classic hookers with a heart of gold.
Oh.
They love those at Disney. Okay, Philip, in the meantime, if people would like to
if you call me a whore or you call me your princess.
Well, I don't care, just put the crown on my head.
Anyway, the apple juice is at full saturation. Anyway, you can always get a hold of me, nightwingpdp at gmail.com. On Twitter, I am at nightwingpdp. And just follow Capes and Lunatics, and Super Connectivity has its own accounts on Facebook, on Twitter, and the voicemail for everything, 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-Capes.
And of course, if you'd like to write to me in that old-fashioned email way where Miles and Paz instead, you can do so at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, at gmail.com. Of course, follow me on the Twitter today. Live tweet Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Cloak and Dagger or anything else I feel like at Charlie Esser. That's CHARLIESSER. Look for the two E's in the middle.
For quality. Bing!
There you go. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for connecting with us this week. Please super connect with us again next. Good night.
Good night. And where are Cloak and Dagger? Where are Cloak and Dagger going? New York? Are they just going to do a road trip all next season?
I think they're going to New York, and I think they'll meet whatever characters they're allowed to. I guess they can't meet Luke Cage yet, but they're going to go to Detroit next. Everyone goes to Detroit.
West Coast.
Maybe they'll meet Mr. Immortal.
Oh,
Some of the Great Lakes Avengers. Maybe they'll meet Squirrel Girl. She is unbeatable.